Not yet. No.
Live.
Yes. Yes, we are
Yes,
live
yeah, we
now.
are already live. Okay, so Dr. Kumbhojkar, enlightened us about Savitribai's life and work, and it's a great privilege to have her here today. And the talk is over now, and so this is particularly the session where we can have a discussion, the questions and answer. And so do not need to delay. So yes, Joshita, you can, if you have a question, please ask her.
I have a question. That is why Fatima Sheikh was merely remembered in Indian history. She helped Savitribai a lot, right? So that's the
Yes.
question.
Thank you, Joshita,
Thanks.
for the question and for the whole hosting and taking the initiative. Fatima B. Sheikh is somebody who's, as you have rightly pointed out, she is not somebody who's very eloquently remembered as far as the history of Indian modernity is concerned. And this, in fact, is even more surprising knowing that there are not too many names from the Muslim community as far as initiatives in modernization, initiatives in education are concerned. Moreover, Fatima B did not take this initiative only exclusively for Muslim girls. She took this initiative for all sorts of girls,
Also,
along with Savitribai Phule. It is even more surprising, even for students of Indian history, that why she is not remembered. And perhaps this is where uh, one can say safely that there is something called as the conspiracy of silence. There are these thoughts which tell us that the historical contribution of certain communities, certain genders, certain kinds of people need not be emphasized when we are writing the mainstream, so-called mainstream narrative of Indian history. So while we know that it is only lately that Savitribai's contribution is being recognized, even more so Fatima B's contribution is even less remembered. But having said that, I am also quite happy to note that these days there are a lot of young people, millennials, if you like, who are interested in the kind of efforts that Fatima B took. There are these histories of Satyashodhak Samaj, histories of Indian modernity being written, wherein her name figures not prominently because we do not know much about her contribution besides the fact that she was teaching and she was the wife of this person who was, a close associate of the Phules. We do not have many details, but there is the politics of archiving also, that why is it that her details were not preserved. So yes, we know that, but we also have the newer generation of people who are keen to know about her.
who question?
No, yes, but
Yes,
Fatima
good
Sheikh,
question. Good question. Very
did
true.
she outlive Savitribai Phule?
I can't hear you,
Uh,
Abhishek.
yeah, can you hear
If
me?
Roshita, you can hear and you can repeat, then I will be able to.
Yes. Abhishek,
No,
can you?
yes, I can hear both of you.
Okay, then you say again.
Yeah, I'm saying Fatima Sheikh, did she continue her work after Savitribai Phule also?
Arjun is asking if Fatima Bai Phule had
No,
continued
no,
her
no, no,
work.
no. It's Fatima Sheikh. Fatima Sheikh.
Fatima Sheikh, sorry.
Yeah,
Fatima
yeah.
Sheikh had continued her work after Savitribai Phule. That is his question.
Huh. No, we really do not have any historical evidence about who lived longer, whether it was Savitribai or whether it was Fatima Bi who, outlived her. But we know that Savitribai Phule continued to work after Jyotirao Phule. up until
How?
1897. So 7 years after her husband's death, she was very active in the field of education, in the field of social work, in the field of medically helping the community. So we know that Savitribai was there. We know, I mean, she was alive and functioning and very much active. We also know that she was helped by a number of associates from the days when Jyotirao Phule was alive. People from rural Maharashtra, Western Maharashtra especially. People in the Otur region, that is the rural areas near Pune. So we know that she was definitely having a number of associates from the previous years, but we do not know if Fatima Bi was alive at that time. We also know that there were a number of Muslim supporters. There were a number of supporters from various different castes, but about specifically about Fatima Bi, we do not know.
I see. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Okay. Ma'am, can you hear me?
Can you hear him?
No, we can't. I can't
Can you
hear him.
hear me?
No, she
Okay,
cannot.
just a moment.
No, I can hear Joshita, but not Arjun.
Yes.
Me now?
I am
Can
the
you
interpreter
hear me
now.
now? Can you?
No, even I cannot hear you now.
Mm,
He's frozen.
yeah.
Perhaps he needs to log in again. Okay. So,
There's a question in the chat box
Hello.
that where do you think we are headed in today's India? Just today we saw one from the Women's Commission, someone from Women's Commission saying that an elderly lady about 50 who was raped and she died while visiting a temple in evening hours should have taken someone with her to be more secured. I find that just a dynamic backwards. Yes, absolutely agree with you. I can't read your name because it's in the Bengali script, but I very much resonate the feelings that you have evoked here. We seem to be being kind of pulled in various directions, and one of these directions is definitely backwards also. People are manifesting regressive thoughts. People are expressing their opinions, which tend to be counterproductive to the ideas of modernity, to the ideas of equality. But being perhaps a teacher, I am most of my time is spent with the younger generation, and I'm therefore much more hopeful about the Indian society in the sense that yes, we have these people, like the example that you have given in the chat box. We have these people who take a very regressive or a counterproductive stand, but we also have the younger generation, which is interested uh, in kind of doing away with the inequalities. They want to fight against the inequalities. They want to strive towards progress. Many a times, their ideas of progress are tinged by the dreams that are presented before them by the commercial media. But I don't see much of a harm in that also, as far as they are able to and they are striving towards realizing those dreams in a fair manner. So younger people, I don't think they give too much of a thought to such regressive ideas, and they go ahead with their thing, which is just the right thing to do, I think.
Ma'am, can you hear me
thank
now?
Yes, I can hear you now, Abhishek.
very
Okay.
nice. Because
So
Biswarup
I just
Sanyal put his question on chat box because he is on mute and you cannot read his name. His name is Biswarup Sanyal.
Vishwarup Sanyal. Okay.
Yes.
okay. I have a
Vishwarup
question. It's a
Sanyal.
more of a comment and a question. Is that in 19th century Maharashtra we see a social reform in the various parts of Maharashtra, and we have also seen that M.G. Ranade, then Don't Keshav, they also have very illustrious contribution. But most of the 19th century figures that the Indian history remembers were the old educated high But uh, the social reform probably before or almost at the same time. So curiously, I'm a little curious to know what was their relation between this group and this, how was it, whether it was a friendship or social conflict. There was some social conflict.
Could you hear the full
Words
question?
because of the bad connection. But
Yes, I
if
guess.
I'm correct, as I understand, your question is what was the relationship between the various progressive workers and ideologues? Am I
Uh,
right? Was it a
right,
relationship of
right,
conflict
right.
or was it a relationship of cooperation?
Relationship of friendship.
Uh-huh. Yes, if I've understood the question correctly, there were
Yeah,
all
right,
sorts of
right,
pulls in different directions because what may be progressive for me may not be progressive enough for you. Just like we have these ideas about progress or these ideas about modernity today. Similarly, there were these ideological tensions among the thinkers in the 19th century as well. So, take for example the controversy about the age of consent. That is, when can marriage be consummated? What is the right time for the married girl to go to her husband's place? There were some people who felt that 12 is the right number of years, and which today we would consider as absolutely no, this is a child we are speaking of. But others were speaking of the age of 9, and still others were saying that this is not something that the government should be butting their nose in, really speaking. So,
right.
there were these tensions definitely, but there was also collaboration. There was also acceptance at certain levels. For example, Jyotirao Phule, who was a radical progressive kind of an ideologue, and also an action-based reformer. His ideas ran many a times in a different trajectory as against the ideas of Lokmanya Tilak, for example, who was an extremely important and nationwide accepted political leader. But though their ideas clashed, Phule was magnanimous enough to felicitate Tilak when he was released from jail after spending 100 days in the jail of Dongri. He also offered him arranged to arrange the, what is the word for that, bail, yeah,
Right, right,
for Tilak and Agarkar. So while they were very much and deeply aware of the ideological differences, they were also aware that we are all working towards somewhat similar um, goals, and that goal was definitely bringing about peace and equality and freedom as far as the Indian society is concerned. So there were both pulls and pushes in the social reform, various groups, of course. I just spoke about a couple of examples.
yeah. And also the fact that I think Pandita Ramabai, then Dr. Anandibai Joshi, many of them later went to meet Savitribai. So Savitribai's work actually gained a very wide recognition.
Absolutely, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Any
Okay.
more questions?
You just tell me because I'm doing it from mobile phone. So any other questions?
I cannot see any more questions. I think no, 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 no more questions. I think yes. Uh, no, neither in YouTube nor in the Facebook. I checked right now. So
Yeah, it
these are
was
the
a very
questions.
eloquent. It was a very eloquent speech and all, uh, and we were really enlightened. And extremely one of the most important part of the 19th century history that we got to know from you, ma'am. And thank you for giving us this time, this valuable time of yours. And hopefully we will again get you maybe some in other topic, because your areas of research are very interesting. 19th century Maharashtra, which has many conflicts, many colors, and lots of issues and all. And seriously, thanks a lot on behalf of the
Thanks a
Wave
lot.
Collage.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot,
Thank,
Thank you.
Joshita,
So
thank.
and
we
thank
end the
you.
program
I,
here. Yes.
yes, yes, please.
And
I,
yes.
yes, and see you again. Bye.
We will see you
I'm,
again.
I'm,
Yeah.
I'm ending the broadcast. Okay.